Welcome to Gaming Daddies, the podcast where fatherhood meets the digital grind. I'm Chris, one of your 3 gaming daddies, and each week the 3 of us sit down to talk about the games we're playing, how we balance gaming with family life, and the big conversations that are happening in the gaming world. This week, we're broke. We're broke, and I don't own a Switch 2, and we can't afford Pokopia either way. So we're going to go through the top 100 Xbox games as listed by IGN instead, and this is where we'll see where they land where each of these games land on this list, and we'll share our thoughts on if we agree or disagree, or just our general thoughts or feelings on those games as we get to them. Just because we may not cover a specific game, that doesn't mean that you don't enjoy it. So if you enjoy it, make sure you drop your comments in the comment section below on YouTube, wherever you get your Spotify, or on our socials, and tell us what you think. Do you agree or disagree with where your games land on this top 100 list for all you Xbox fans? We're also going to look at what we think is missing from this list, and we're also looking forward to March 10th for Mario Day. That's coming up Tuesday. My son's birthday is on Mario Day. Well, his 8-month birthday, or his 8-month. That's when he turns 8 months anyway, so kind of birthday is on Mario Day, so that's nice. And hopefully we'll dive into some good news surrounding that. So grab your controller, or maybe just your 1 free hour of peace and quiet, and let's press start. So, a little funny business happening with my camera here. I have a special guest in the house. This is a pink duck, little rubber ducky. I love rubber duckies. I have a collection of them, Tedder, kind of strewed around the house. And Noah has a little plastic tube container full of Bucky's duckies, and
There you go.
he plays with 2 of them in the bath for bath time, and he's all about him some rubber ducky life. But this one's not like a rubber ducky; it's like squishy material.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's interesting enough. Nicole brought it for me as a surprise a few days ago, so I forget where she got it from, but a new addition to my duck family. Because penguins are like ducks, aren't they? I mean, aren't we all penguins on the inside? So
Something like that.
how's life been going this week?
It's been pretty chill. I mean, Ronan's going through a growth spurt, so we're dealing with midnight wakings to eat for the 50th time today, and so I
So
mean,
he's eating a whole lot more.
oh yeah. And then just the random teeth popping in here and there.
Yeah.
But overall, it's been a lot better. He's kind of no longer been sick, so that's been nice.
We
So
finally conquered the sick bug.
yeah, for now, we'll see.
No, for now. 'Tis the season as we get closer and closer to spring. Well, I guess we're in meteorological spring now, but for the official changeover is according to a groundhog. So allergies and things, I'm sure that'll be fun. Cool. So question on growth spurts versus teething, especially for us new fathers and parents and things out in our audience. What would you prefer? Teething or growth spurts? What's easier to manage in the household? Or are they just about the same?
Well, I mean, I think there's sleep regression's more an issue than growth spurts. Growth spurts, it's just kind of like there's some kind of change going on, so he changes his routine, but or he eats more, whatever. But like the sleep regressions are probably just as hard as the teething. At least the teething you can do something about. The sleep regressions, man, they're just tough.
Mm-hmm. Did he have much sleep regression when he was teething?
He's had a sleep regression his whole life.
Yeah. Uh, we've been fighting a little bit of sleep for Noah at night. It's obviously more difficult to put him to sleep if he hasn't napped throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
Because by that point he becomes overtired, and overtired babies are harder to put down for the night because they're just exhausted, I guess. I don't really understand that too much. I'd figure it'd probably be easier, to handle that if you're overtired, but I guess not. But last night, Nicole said, because I was on my way back to the house. He didn't go to sleep until like 11 or close to 11 o'clock. And he was just, I don't know, like he would go to sleep and then he'd wake up and then he would be
Mhm.
up. He'd just be bright eyed and bushy tailed. And then,
Yep.
have to try to wear him out and give him a little bit more formula or whatever and get him put back down. I don't know if he's fighting it right now. He was before I came in here, before we recorded, and he was kind of being a little difficult, but that's typical for him. And he's at the point where he realizes, like when we start holding him in a certain position, that he knows that's when it's time to go to sleep. And that's when he wants to fight it the most. I guess the FOMO, doesn't want to miss anything or whatever. But after he, he gives in, he he's usually lights out a few minutes or so after that. And when he stops, wiggling and things like that. And he's kind of strong. Like babies are strong when they're like really wanting to
Mhm.
wiggle, things like that. So, but no, he's been pretty chill here as well for the most part. He's got two of his upper teeth coming in. I think I've mentioned this before. One has broken through for sure, and the other one's, I guess, is starting to. I think that's what's going on because he's not slobbering nearly as much, and
Mhm.
I think once the teeth are starting to come in and before they break, that's when they like just are a waterfall, a constant like flow of the nastiness. Yeah. So, but so he has two top corner now, and then he has his two buck teeth right down here, his reverse buck teeth. So he's like a reverse buck tooth vampire situation coming on here. Took him to Chili's a few nights ago and put him in a high chair, and he like sat up almost the entire
Well,
time.
good.
And he's discovered the table, so he wants to chew on the table. So we have to like be like, no, don't eat the don't eat the table. Put him in the high chair today when we went to trivia. He ate a little bit of a cheese stick. He thought it was pretty good. He had his first chocolate chip cookie yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the grandparents gave him part of a chocolate chip cookie, and like I got a picture of it, and it's just, of course, it's all over his face because he doesn't like when we put food in his mouth for him. He likes
Mm.
to hold on to
Yep.
it and try to feed himself, and
Mm,
that's a
he's
disaster. So
independent.
he's trying to, by God, but he's not very good at it. He'll shove his whole hand in his mouth and he'll like start sucking on it or whatever. He forgets to leave the thing in his mouth, and so he'll just pull it out. So he'll pull out his hand and like he'll see like half of a Cheeto puff in there, and he's like, "Hmm." And so it's
Yep.
just like it's all over his hands. It's so messy. It's so nasty. Yeah, so pretty good stuff. Do much gaming this week?
I have.
Oh, how'd that go?
Well, I mean, normally we'll put Ronan down and, I'll go take my shower or whatever, and then I'll go ahead and put about an hour, 2 hours, if that, on my Dragon Quest game, so it's been pretty good,
Still enjoying it?
but yeah, yeah. I'm about 20 hours in. um, I don't know what that would be in terms of gameplay, like where I am gameplay-wise, but
Mm,
I feel like I'm progressing pretty quickly, but I've also been told that it's a 100-hour game, so I guess we'll see.
mm. But I mean, if you're enjoying it this far, then I'm sure that 100 hours
Sure.
will just breeze by. I haven't done much gaming this week at all, other than some mobile gaming. Done my daily Wordle. That's been a habit of mine each morning. Get to the office, like it's kind of a way to kind of wake myself up a little bit. So like a 36 days streak or something like that. 36 day streak. I think my record is like 135 or something like that. And then
Mhm.
I lost it and I was so upset. I was like, no, I must retire. Then I finally came out of retirement. It was nice. And then I've picked up Fallout Shelter again after several years I'm not playing it, and so that's been my new daily routine type thing as far as gaming is concerned, and that's just a lot of fun. Pick up and play, manage your vault, maybe do a quest or two with your dwellers, and put it back down, and it just runs itself in the background if you like that kind of thing. Especially if you're into Fallout, I mean, it's really cutesy. I dig it a lot. And you can pretty well play it on anything: PlayStation, Xbox, PC, mobile. But that's pretty well what I do outside of that. No really handheld gaming or console gaming for me this week. So maybe this upcoming week I could change that around. Maybe jumping into
Yeah.
some mod or something. So, but anyways, yeah. So let's just jump right on into it. Today we're covering the Xbox Top 100 games list, which we know that this isn't like news to anybody else. I mean, this article's been out for a little while, but we've already covered PlayStation, we've covered Nintendo. Is that right?
Oh, we did the Nintendo Top 100. We haven't talked about PlayStation Top 100.
So, okay, so we haven't done PlayStation, but we've done Nintendo. So we're just moving right along to Xbox because, that's a pretty significant juggernaut. But before we really officially get started into that, what are your thoughts on Project Helix?
I don't guess I know what Project Helix is.
The new CEO of Microsoft announced that's the next gen Xbox console, Project Helix, that'll play Xbox and PC games.
Oh, I did hear something where she said it's going to be $1,200 to $1,500.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yep. I mean, if I guess if I did not just buy $1,000 PC, then I might be like, oh, hey, I would finally like something to play Steam games or whatever. But yeah, now that I've done this, yeah,
At that point, it's just like, well, you might as well just play it on PC.
exactly.
And
So,
I mean, honestly, with console prices the way they are now, the only reason I have a PS5 is because I was able to purchase it for $400 from my niece's husband because he
hmm
was trying to sell it, and I was like, yeah, $400. It's much better than what they're going for right now. So, and then we're still kind of on the fence on whether or not we want to invest in a Switch 2 right now or not. So, it's the only reason we don't have one of those either. So it's expensive.
hmm
Anyways, so yeah, I thought that was a pretty interesting announcement, or almost seems like a random announcement too at a random time. But
yeah,
all
because
right,
I didn't even see
so
it.
looking at the top Xbox 100 games list of all time, this list that we're using is curated by IGN. IGN and Outside Xbox have teamed up for the ultimate ranking of Xbox console favorites. So I don't necessarily think this is just Xbox exclusives.
hmm
Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, this is it. I don't know. No, these are not because some of these games are on the PlayStation 3. So this is not Xbox exclusives, just top 100 Xbox games on the console period. So to kind of help expedite things, we're going to list off 20 at a time, and then we'll go back and cover the ones that we either have experience with or that we know about or whatever. But do not feel left out. Do not feel forgotten if we don't cover one that is a favorite of yours. If we don't cover one that's a favorite of yours, please drop how you feel about it in the comment section on wherever you get your podcasts or on our social, and tell us what you think. Do you agree with its ranking? Do you think it should be higher or lower? Did one of your games not make this list either? So without any further ado, we ready for the first 20?
Let's do it.
All right. So coming in at 100, we have 1 versus 100, oddly enough. 99 is Conquer Live and Reloaded. And then moving on up the list, we have Top Spin, Binary Domain, Steel Battalion, Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, Fusion Frenzy, Lost Planet Extreme Condition, Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, Condemned Criminal Origins, Castle Crashers, Mech Assault, Peter Jackson's King Kong, Full Spectrum Warrior, Dead or Alive 3, Perfect Dark Zero, Panzer Dragoon Orta, Rayman Legends, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, and coming in at number 80, Titanfall.
Yeah.
So which one of these first 20 would you like to bring up?
So
Discussion.
I like to say like I think 80 through 100 is like I would say they're recognizable titles, but not really well played or well known. Some of these are a little more well known than others, but there's some that like, oh yeah, maybe those are really you think Xbox when you think those games, or there was something specific that stood out about those games. But I wouldn't say that they're like super well known games. Lost Planet, for instance, when this come out, it was really graphically intense. It was really cool to see and to play. Although a little bit clunky to play, it was still really interesting visually to watch and play. And then
Mhm.
you had all the environmental stuff that added to it that, made it to where it would run really well on Xbox 360, but, really struggled with the PS3. Of course, I only played a demo for the game, but I was interested in it. And but then lots of bug stuff and scary stuff, and I was like, nope, not for me. I didn't even know Banjo and Kazooie had a nuts and bolts. That's how well I knew that one.
Mhm.
Um, and then scrolling down, looking at this list, Peter Jackson's King Kong. I remember playing the demo for that game and just I had a ball with it, but I don't
That's
think I
so
would play it
strange.
the full game. Like the demo is about as far as I wanted to go with it,
And
and I'm
that's
pretty sure.
strange, like, especially, like, with, licensed games, like, for
Mhm.
games based off movies, they're usually not thought of as being very good, at least from my experience with it.
Yeah, and I can't remember exactly, but I really want to say that it was like a quick time events game. So it was a lot of like you were playing as King Kong or and you were like having to push X at the right time to punch the T-Rex in the face and stuff like that. Um but I can't remember exactly how the game played. I just remember the way it looked and at the time I thought it was very visually good.
Hmm.
Now, obviously Perfect Dark Zero, fantastic game.
Mm.
Loved that game.
Mhm.
Um, so that was wonderful to play. But again, they still trying to figure out the first person shooter stuff. They were still trying to figure out how that gameplay looked. Um, so would it hold up today? I doubt it. I don't think that that game would be fun to play today. But back then, obviously, it was really good. And then um, Titanfall was my first experience with, one of these kind of really standout mech kind of games. I'm not really a mech gamer, but having that, you jump in your suit and you're this big powerful thing, or when you're running outside of your suit, it kind of follows along with you and mimics your battle tactics. That was a really good game as well as Titanfall 2.
Mm.
I just wish they would have, continued that path.
Interesting. So I'll go through and give my opinions, and then we'll discuss if we agree on any of these being on this list, or at least where they're placed. So it's very nice to see that Rare has already started out of the gate with 3 games on this list with Conquer and Banjo and oh, what's the other one? Mm. No, was it just 2? I thought it was 3. Anyway, but it's nice to see Rare on this list more than once. 1 versus 100, seeing a game show game on a top 100 list is kind of surprising to me, but it must have been pretty fun to do all that. I did like the show. I do remember vaguely watching the show a little bit. It was kind of neat concept, so I'm sure that translated well. Never played Conquer, so but with it being like a platformer type thing, and then it's kind of
Hmm.
raunchy too, if I remember right. So
Yeah.
but a good Rare game nonetheless. Not really much into too many sports games. Um. And a lot of these other ones, like Oddworld, is a series of games, and I've never played any of them, I don't think, but I think that is like for a certain niche audience, or it could be pretty well received. I don't know, but you see a lot of Oddworld series games in the early 2000s, like PS1
Hmm.
on. I don't know if they make much more of those now or not, but
They made one within the last 5 years.
mhm,
Um, and it was actually free on Game Pass, I want to say.
interesting.
Um, yeah, I played about 10 minutes of it and I was just like, nope, not for me.
Yeah. And then it's nice seeing Capcom on this list with Lost Planet. I never played any of the Lost Planet games,
Hmm.
but I've always heard great things about them. I think they reviewed very well. Banjo, Nuts and Bolts. I did play this. I did own it at one point. Very unique game compared to, the first one in Banjo Tooie.
Hmm.
Very vehicular based, like build your own contraptions type thing, and then go and collect jiggies and things like that. And then seeing it with the updated graphics is honestly kind of jarring at first, but then you kind of get used to it. I never finished it, but I didn't hate it. I enjoyed it for what it was, but wish it was more like the first two. But it's one that I would go back and play again. Condemned was way too violent of a series for me to even think about playing. Castle Crashers I have on PS Plus, and I do want to give that a try. But as far as the other ones, I remember reading about Peter Jackson's King Kong and seeing how cool it looked, but this one is looked upon very fondly as being like one of the greatest movie game type things. So
Mhm.
it's nice to see that. Never played Perfect Dark, so I don't know anything about Perfect Dark Zero. Um, and then Rayman, never really got into it all. Never played really Tom Clancy, unless Splinter Cell falls under that umbrella, which I don't know if it does or not. But Splinter Cell was really good. Oh, which it does. Tom Clancy Splinter Cell, duh. And I played some of those Splinter Cell games on the 360. I don't remember which one it was. And then Titanfall. I think the first one was a pretty good entry, but I think two was the rare instance of a sequel being better.
Yeah.
And
I remember the campaign being a lot better.
yeah, so it looked really cool, especially with the mech combat and things like that. And just the gameplay mechanics, period, on that looks
Mhm.
really fun. So, looking at these first 20, do we agree with where they are placed? Are we surprised? Do we think any of these should not have been on this list?
I think this is, 80 to 100. It's kind of like these games I either didn't see or didn't know, or
Hmm.
yeah, I could see them being on there. Um, they had an influence, but it wasn't so genre defining or Xbox defining. So,
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one. I think this pretty well is what you would expect on the first 20.
mhm,
So moving right along to the next 20, starting with number 79 and moving on up, we have The Outer Worlds 2, Keeper, Jade Empire, Gears 5, Tunic, The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, State of Decay, Black Ops 2, Lost Odyssey, SSX 3, Ori and the Blind Forest, Alan Wake, Skate 2, Mirror's Edge, Pentiment, Trials HD, Hi Fi Rush, Dead Rising, Halo 4, and Street Fighter 4. So on these 20, we have a lot more big name games
mhm,
making their appearance here. So just kind of looking at the list for me, some of these I haven't played, some of them I have. Like Outer Worlds 2 I haven't played because I haven't played I haven't finished the first one. Gears 5 I did not play, but I am familiar with the Gears franchise. Tunic I really loved. Tunic was that old school Legend of Zelda game in the modern day
mhm,
that we need more of. And it was appropriately challenging and just so much fun. And I don't think there was anything wrong with that game at all. From the way you had to figure it out to collecting all the instruction manual pages and all that kind of stuff. And the story was really quite good. Didn't play Morrowind. Black Ops 2. So I have like a love-hate relationship with the Black Ops series just in general. Sometimes the story for those games is just a little like I missed 5 minutes of this game. Now I'm completely lost.
mhm,
And then some of them just keep dragging on and on and on and on. It's just like this game probably should have ended like 4 hours ago. Um, but it's Call of Duty. It's fun, shoot 'em up type thing. And there's really not many first person shooter franchises that do it better than the guys who make Call of Duties. That is S3. I think I played some of the older ones, like on Nintendo 64 or GameCube. Tricky, I think, was the last one I played. Mirror's Edge, I tried playing, but because of the way the camera moves around so much, because it's in first person, gives me motion sickness, and so I
mhm.
can't really enjoy that kind of game, unfortunately, even though it's really, really cool. And Halo 4. I really enjoyed Halo 4. You and I sped ran that game one night at the apartment. We
Mhm.
like it took us like 2, maybe 3 days to beat that game, co-op. So that was pretty fun. Well, not probably the best in the franchise. And then I'm not much of a fighting game person at all. So what about you?
Yeah, so, I mean, this has some heavy hitters. Um, you know, Going back to what we were talking about, like at the 79 mark, I haven't played Outer Worlds 2. I'm surprised that this new of a game made the list.
Mm,
And maybe because it is, so early and it's, Xbox Game Pass or whatever. But I mean, Outer Worlds 1 was great. Everything that I complained about with Outer Worlds 1, they seem to have fixed in Outer Worlds 2. So it's definitely on my backlog. I want to jump into it. I'm sure it is a fantastic game. Um, Scrolling down, Jade Empire has a close relationship in my life. I played the
Really?
crap out of this game.
Really?
Yeah, it was really cool. Like when you first started, you picked your primary weapon, and then you went in and you had to, fight off these things. And then you got it was very reminiscent of um oh, what's the name of the game? Fable, the original Fable,
Mm,
where you kind of collected experience from defeating people, and then you went and saw these masters of weapons. You had to like, master different types of weapons, whatever. But it was very good. It was a very fun game. And even like when it came out for the iPad, I went ahead and got it for the iPad because I was like, man, I remember that
really?
game. It's so good. Um,
BioWare, right? Yeah, that's a BioWare
yeah,
game.
so, anyway, so I think Jade Empire was a great game. Does it hold up to this day? Uh, graphics are rough. Um, but gameplay at the time was definitely influential, so, I agree, it should definitely be on the list. Gears 5, I said this to you, um, I don't like number 1, I can't remember the storylines for each individual title.
Mhm.
So to me, Gears in general as a franchise is fantastic and very well known for Xbox. I, dividing the games up the way they do, and the same thing with Halo. I don't like to just sit here and put them in order of like oh well Gears 5 was less influential than Gears whatever. Gears in general is influential to Xbox. Halo in general is influential to Xbox.
Mhm.
Are there games that I liked more or less? Sure, but just the genre in general, I think Gears. I'm not even going to reflect on this one, so we'll get to more Gear later. Tunic, I agree, fantastic.
Mhm.
Loved every minute of it. The first 5 seconds when I died 14 times without doing anything, I was like, "Nope, turn on God mode." And then it was great. I loved it. Not being able to die every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Fantastic game. I love the way that they did the instruction manual and you had to find stuff and there were so many secrets that you didn't know, but now that you go through a second playthrough, you know those secrets so you can get stuff that you shouldn't have access to until way
Mhm.
later, but you get it at the beginning of the game because you know the secrets.
Mhm.
The fact that there weren't those walls, the only limitation was your knowledge base.
Right.
That's just brilliant. Um,
Mhm.
Morrowind was my first Elder Scrolls game, but
Mm.
I was too young to know what I was doing. So I just did a whole bunch of jumping around and random attacking and fighting and whatever. And then it was like your acrobats went up, and I was like, I don't know what that means. How do I acrobat? How do I use my acrobat? So it didn't explain things well enough. And then Oblivion, obviously, I figured out what was going on. And then when I tried to go back to Morrowind, it looked like trash. So I was like, well, never mind.
Mm.
Um, and then kind of going on. Black Ops, I played the campaign. I hated multiplayer back in the day, so I never even played the multiplayer.
Right.
I'd get into Call of Duty games, play the campaign, and then be done with it.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, then I take a big old skip, and obviously I'm not going to do Alan Wake because I'm scared of my
The
shadow.
same. The same. Same.
Pentiment looks really cool. I didn't even know Pentiment existed, but that was probably because we were working,
Yeah,
um,
probably.
and last 3 years, and so I wouldn't mind jumping into that. Same thing with Hi-Fi Rush. It came out within the last 3 years.
Mhm.
Um, and it's a musical timing game, but it's an action kind of game, so that'll be interesting.
Mhm.
And then of course Halo, like you said, it was influential. Doing couch co-op with you obviously was a lot of fun. And brought back some good Halo memories from doing speed runs after doing the campaign and just knowing where everything was and going and getting skulls and stuff like that. But yeah,
Mhm.
it's definitely not as good storyline as its earlier ones. But um, it was always a running joke of Bungie, if they make a Halo game, it's gonna be top tier. But if 343 makes it, then it's gonna be kind of like mid at best. So and they would alternate every other time. So it was just like Bungie would make one, and then 343 would make one, and it was like good trash, good trash, good
It's
trash.
like with
So
the Call of Duty series.
exactly. So, that was kind of interesting. So the fact that it was 343, I was like, okay, it's gonna be an okay game, but it's not gonna be phenomenal. And sure enough, it was an okay game, just not phenomenal. So
Do we agree with the standings so far now that we have 40 games that we have covered?
yeah, again, I wouldn't have put. I wouldn't have broken down the series into individual games. I would have just said Halo series and Gear series. So you're welcome to rank those games wherever you want. I mean, the series
Sure.
in general should be top 5 for me, but we'll
Sure.
see what we get to top 5. But yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Sure. Yeah. My only surprising thing here is Tunic. I really, in my personal opinion, I think Tunic should rank a whole lot higher than where it is right now. But it's nice that it's on the list, at least where it's at, and we'll see if we still agree with that as we continue on up this list, this countdown list here. So without any further ado, let's continue forth, shall we? So coming in, starting at number 59 and moving up, we have Peggle 2, Project Gotham Racing 2, Call of Duty 2, lots of 2 so far, Mark of the Ninja, Forza Horizon, Jet Set Radio Future, Crackdown, Halo 3 ODST, Sunset Overdrive, Shadow Complex, Psychonauts 2, Viva Pinata, Microsoft Flight Sim, Limbo, Forza Motorsport 4, Rise of the Tomb Raider, The Chronicles of Riddick Escape from Bay, Bastion, Fable, and number 40, Crimson Skies, High Road to Revenge. Thoughts?
Yeah, so this one's a little harder for me because I don't do racing games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I would say all the ones that are in the 50s, I really have no interest in. I did not play Peggle. I did not play Gotham Racing. Call of Duty 2, I played, and it was a Call of Duty game. That was back with iron sights and, traditional, whatever, go overseas and fight D-Day kind of stuff. So that was
Mm-hmm.
old school Call of Duty. No Forza, not going to do Jet Set Radio. Crackdown, I did not play, but when I think Crackdown, I do think Xbox. So, I mean, that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. Now, Halo ODST, if I had to put a Halo game outside of the Halo genre, this would be the one because it had nothing to do with Spartans. It was
Mm-hmm.
all about the ODST troopers, and they were not, people confuse this for being Spartans, and they're not Spartans. They're just normal. That would be like your Marines today, where they're like just hardcore. They're, nose diving into enemies, and they drop right into the battlefield and go at it. The music to this game was phenomenal, and it made you feel alone because you were alone. You didn't have anybody. You were running through the streets of wherever, whatever area, your cityscape that you were in, and you were by yourself, and you had to go fight whatever was coming at you. And it was such narrow hallways. It wasn't this big, wide, sprawling area. So just fast paced, intense, but I would not consider it a Halo game as much as it felt separate because you weren't playing as, you know, John Spartan 117s.
Felt more
Um,
grounded in that regard.
sure. Psychonauts 2, great game. The Psychonauts series in general was a really cool game. Really well thought out. The fact that it had that psychological aspect of it was really twisted, but it made sense for what it was. Now, Viva Pinata, I would totally agree. When I think Viva Pinata, I see Xbox, I see Xbox 360, I see the whatever that little oh, what was the Xbox Arcade, like that? Those things just pop up to my mind every time I see Viva Pinata, and I'm so glad this made the list because I spent a long time in Viva Pinata, building up my areas and having the little pinata, little animals come up. Um,
That's awesome.
Microsoft Flight Simulator is phenomenal. Even when I was looking at getting my pilot's license, I talked to a pilot and I said, "What can I do? Where can I get started?" And he said, "Put 120 hours in the flight simulator." He said, "It is the truest form of training that you're going to get with instruments because you have to flip the exact right switches. Now you can go easy mode and just say start the plane and go fly, but like if you go into like hard mode, you really have to flip the switches in the exact right positions and you have to do them the exact order. And so um,
Interesting.
yeah, you really learn the planes to be able to fly a plane. So I know a lot of people use that to train before they're getting their pilot's license because you'd save 120 hours of in-flight time. I love the Chronicles of Riddick. I hated this game. It was not good. Um, and then you already know how I feel about Fable. I think Fable does not need to be in the 40s. I think Fable needs to be much
Much,
higher.
much higher.
Um, but that being said, Fable phenomenal game, just hands down one of the best games.
Mm,
Um, so
cool.
yeah.
For this next grouping, I really don't have much experience with any of these. I will admit I do like the Peggle games. I think I've only ever played the original one on mobile, and it's kind of fun little arcadey thing. It's shocking to me to see Peggle on this list at all, especially as high as it is now. But I guess that speaks to its level of enjoyment. But a lot of these I just haven't played. Not because they don't seem interesting. I guess, never really got to them. Halo 3 at EST was pretty fun. The little bit that I did get to play that, but I mean, I just like the Halo games, period. Never played a Psychonauts game, but I hear lots of great things. It's funny and it's meaningful and, all that kind of stuff. Viva and Pinata never played, but it's nice to see Rare on here again. Rise of the Tomb Raider was fun. Never finished it, but it was a fun game. It was really intense, super intense. I really enjoyed the story of those games as well. Chronicles of Riddick never did. Fable, haven't played a second of any Fable game, which is criminal because it seems
Hmm.
like everything I could really like about those. And then Crimson Skies. So I mean, when it comes to if we agree on the rankings so far, my only kind of a shocker type thing again is Peggle, which is like, does Peggle 2 really outrank Tunic?
Well,
Uh,
I think that's that influential like.
yeah. So maybe there's something I'm missing there, but that would be my only question mark or red flag. But as far as everything else, I mean, sure. Just haven't played any of them, so I can't really give a meaningful opinion on them.
Hmm.
Thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think a lot of these deserve the spot they're in. I remember Crimson Skies. I forgot about Crimson Skies, but I do remember it. I just don't remember much about it. I remember the flight and combat. That's about it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, I agree most of it. Fable, I think, needs to be higher. Um, racing games, it's hard for me to rate those.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I would agree with pretty well. This list seems pretty in line with what I would think of are influential games.
So moving on ahead, starting with 39 and moving our way up, we have Cuphead, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Raid, Assassin's Creed 2, Rock Band 3, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, Batman Arkham Asylum, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Sea of Thieves, Super Meat Boy, Grand Theft Auto 4, Geometry Wars Retro Evolved, Burnout 3 Takedown, Outer Wilds, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, Left 4 Dead 2, Gears of War, and Halo Reach. Oh, baby, baby. What a next group we have here. This should be pretty well ripe for the picking. Uh, so let's see. Cuphead, love that game. And from coming from a small studio, number one, it has that brutal challenge to it, that super brutal arcadey challenge to it, which I just love so much in a game. I've played a lot of Cuphead. I haven't finished it, but I've played a lot of it. And the one thing that really sticks out to me the most is its art style. That old school cartoony, like
Mm.
60s, 70s type cartoony style or whatever is just it's amazing. And then just it's the gameplay is just awesome too. And the boss battles are so fun and over the top. So absolutely love that. Ori is a series that I've never played, but it seems like something that I might enjoy, so I might go back and try to get that. Braid, never played, but I've heard wonderful things, especially the crazy, crazy twist and the curveball that it throws at you story wise at the end of the game is mind boggling. Assassin's Creed 2. I love the Assassin's Creed series, especially the original games 1 through
The Ezio series.
yeah, the Ezio series is definitely my favorite of the
Hmm.
entire series up until this point, but I just enjoyed all of them from the first one through Black Flag. But the Ezio series for sure. And then, Assassin's Creed 2 is the first entry in that. And it's just, gosh, how do you take a good game and make it even better? You make Assassin's Creed 2. It was just so much fun. And then where it went from there just makes it even better and so enjoyable. I think that's super replayable now. And Ubisoft is just the best, for doing that. Rock Band 3. I've played Rock Band. I don't know if I played 3. I enjoyed Rock Band a lot and enjoyed Guitar Hero a lot too. And I'm
Mhm.
very excited for the spiritual successor that they are working on releasing here in the future. So we need more of those things. I think this is the Tom Clancy game I played, which was Splinter Cell. And it's really cool if you like the sneaky. And it really handled those mechanics really, really well. And I like Sam Fisher as a character. So really, really cool, especially walking around with your night vision goggles on and things like that, and really having to take advantage and, be stealthy and, knock out the lights or stick to the shadows or not make as much noise or anything like that. It's like
Is
a
that
little do it.
is is that the game where, like, when you walk around, like, they see your footprints lag behind you, and, like,
I
you would walk
think
around the
so.
room, and, like, somebody would, like, the enemy would be walking around in their path, and they see your footprints, and they're like, "Bruh?" And they
I
start
think
following
so.
the
I
footprints?
th- I think
Okay.
so. I think that's the same series. To me, it's like a faster paced Hitman.
Mhm.
And Hitman's pretty cool too, but Hitman's way more methodical and much slower. Arkham Asylum is one of my favorite games ever, especially if you love Batman and you like action games. It's really, really cool. The fighting system in there and the mechanics in that game are really fun. Arkham Asylum was really top notch. Fallout 3 is it's about time there's a Fallout game that and we're seeing them in the upper echelon of this list, which is where they belong. Fallout 3 was really fun. I don't think I ever finished Fallout 3, which is one I need to go back and play. But my wife, who is a huge Fallout fan and is like doing everything in Fallout 4 right now on her probably her fifth playthrough, would be excited to see Fallout 3 here on this list. New Vegas. I love that game. I love that game so much. I think that's the only game in the series that I've 100% completed. Like I've done every quest, I've played all the DLC, and the DLC is just that chef's kiss uh content right there. Especially when you get to Old World Blues and Lonesome Road and things like that. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And like all the different factions and and having to, migrate between all that stuff is just so much fun. Never played Great Circle, but I'm sure you have plenty to say on that one. Sea of Thieves looks fun, but Super Meat Boy is just fun. Again, it's that hard as nails type platforming game, and it really promotes a lot of speed running things because it times you. It's really cool, really fast paced 2D stuff, and I'm all about all that. Never played Grand Theft Auto 4. Geometry Wars looks fun, but never played. Burnout 3 Takedown is probably my favorite racing game ever, but next to Need for Speed Underground 2. Especially like the crash modes and things like that.
Mhm.
It's just so much fun. I just recently, purchased a launch edition PS2 Slim and got Burnout 3 and have been playing through some of that a little bit. And it just brings back so many childhood memories. It's like top tier video game for me because I played a lot of it growing up. Um, Skyrim never finished, but I've started that game over so many times trying to do different things and just doing all the many things you can do in that game, getting sidetracked. I think the first time I ever played it, doing the first thing once you're like cut loose, like doing the actual first story type mission or whatever, I got sidetracked so many times just exploring and just doing other random things. And when you finally get to your first dragon, I think you're like on the mountain or whatever. And I think I got hit once and he like launched me off that mountaintop. So like the ragdoll physics of that game is just it's hilarious. I'm a fan of ragdoll physics, but like especially in Skyrim because it just gets so silly.
Mhm.
And then the opening part of Skyrim has been memed so many times. It's so hilarious. Oh, you're awake. And you're riding in the wagon. Left 4 Dead 2 spooky game. Uh I have played it. Nicole would lose her mind seeing it as high as it is up here because she loves the Left 4 Dead series. Um, but I remember playing Left 4 Dead 2, and when you encounter the witch for the first time, that's pretty well what did it for me, and I haven't touched it since because I'm a big old scaredy pants lady. Gears of War, awesome game. I really enjoyed Gears of War a lot, especially its cover-based combat, and it's just like hulking size, characters, and the chainsaw, the whatever you call that gun, is really cool. I don't know. It's just a lot of fun. I mean, a super, super fun game. And then Halo Reach. I don't think I played Reach, but I heard like this is like a special entry in that franchise that people that are fans of this particular franchise really hold close because of how good it is. And so that's my thoughts. What about yours?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, there's a lot of reiteration of what you've said about these games. Um, as far as top 40 goes, I would agree with these. Some of these are just Xbox games, and you think Xbox, and you think about them. Ori and the Will of the Wisp. Like, yes, you can play it on other devices, but Xbox is kind of where you think about it. Assassin's Creed 2. I mean, the Assassin's Creed games, just in general, phenomenal
Mm-hmm.
games. I would agree that it needs to be in the 30s and not the 40, not higher, because it was a copy and paste game. It was go to new area, go unlock the tower, go look at the surrounding areas and objectives, go do those objectives, go to the next tower, rinse and repeat.
Mm-hmm.
So it became very tiresome to do it. It was fun, and I did all of them, but it was just like, oh great, another tower, another tower, another tower, a fall of faith again. So it was kind of like, just like, oh, okay, whatever. Um,
But if you think about it, when you got to that other tower and did your leap of faith, little did you know that many, many years later, you could do that and then switch to the other character who is not
mhm.
meant to do that and would just fall.
Yeah, nope, didn't have an idea that would happen. Didn't have an idea that would happen in the video when we watched it. So anyway, Rock Band, absolutely, defining genre, except for the fact that they turned the hi-hat on the other side, and so you had to play with your yeah, as a percussionist, I was like, this doesn't work. This isn't right. So I had a problem with it, but it's fine. The Fallout games, obviously, they're phenomenal. Um, I think they keep getting better, but I mean, obviously, I would probably be in the minority. Um, I mean, yes, the Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas have a special place, but I think I prefer Fallout 4.
Mm,
Um, just because there's some quality of life things that I was just like, oh my God.
mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, at the time, absolutely genre defining. Um, you know, loved every minute of it. Great Circle, you need to play it. You need to play it because you feel like it's the first game that you actually feel like the main character. You feel like you're Indiana Jones. And there's nothing about that game that I did not like. I loved every minute of it, from the exploration, the sneaking, the combat. All of it felt really good, and I didn't feel punished if I was sneaking and I got caught. Um, there was a little bit of a punishment of like, crap, I wanted to try to do this and not get caught, but you still were able to get the mission done. It wasn't like, oh, you failed the mission because you were caught. It would still let you go ahead and do everything, and you weren't. It's I mean, it's just a great game. Um, I kind of want to wait for it to get on PlayStation and get a little cheaper before I finish it. But yeah, no, I'll definitely be revisiting that game on PlayStation so that I can get my achievements for that.
Mm-hmm.
Sea of Thieves, I've spent 10 minutes and jumped off of that. Wasn't my kind of game. Grand Theft Auto 4 was my last Grand Theft Auto game, and I just remember playing it and being like, okay, yeah, it felt like Grand Theft Auto. Like,
Yeah.
I just jumped off the train bandwagon, all of it, and I was just like, I don't have to play any more of these. I get it. Just like you, Burnout 3, peak childhood. I mean, this was Friday nights. We would stay up doing crash mode, seeing who could get the most points, and to
Mm-hmm.
see to find the best route to be able to take out the gas truck while getting the most explosions and trying to rack up the most points for the money.
Yeah.
And it was just a challenge with me and my family. So that was, peak childhood. memories from childhood. We talk about, your game saves or your memory card moments, and that's definitely one of them.
Mm.
And then they stopped doing the crash modes, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Skyrim needs to be much higher. If they're going to make 100 sequels to Skyrim, then they need to be much higher. And then we've already talked about Gears of War, and I feel like we're going to talk about that again. So we'll talk later about Gears.
Perfect.
Now, Halo Reach, this one's different because you're not Master Chief. In Halo Reach, you play as like Delta Squad, I believe. And you are going through, and the entire party is wiped out. I mean, the whole point of, and this is what people don't understand, the lore behind Halo. There's more than one Spartan. I mean, he's Spartan 117. A lot of Spartans, and the way that they're made into Spartans and turned into Spartans, and their specialties, and what classification they are, and even what generation they are. All those things matter. It was interesting to see the Halo series and be like, yes, these are Spartans, but these Spartans also die. Or even if you win the battle, you lose the war. But each Spartan had their own mechanic that you had to play. Like there was a heavy weapons one, there was a sniper one, there was a, assault rifle one, or a driver. So each mechanic, felt like different chapters represented different mechanics and what you were going to do in that mechanic. So that was really cool. But again, Halo as a genre,
Mm.
I'm back to this argument. So
All right, so that brings now that we're kind of in the meat and potatoes of this list, is there anyone that you feel like so far out of the 80 we've covered that should have been higher, you think, or should have been lower, or should have just been excommunicated from the list altogether? Or are you pretty well in agreement?
Any and all spooky games just need to be wiped off the face of the earth. So
I second that. I mean, I think I agree with it a lot. I do have some personal things, but I mean, that's just personal. But I mean, they're on this list, and where they're ranked on this list, I agree with so far. So, all right, we're in the top 20, so we'll kind of slow our roll just a little bit. We'll pick up with number 19, Mass Effect, Fez, Gears of War 2, Red Dead Redemption, Ninja Gaiden Black, Fable 2, Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, Modern Warfare Call of Duty 4, and number 10, KOTOR Knights of the Old Republic. And we'll just kind of pump our brakes right there. Thoughts on these?
Yeah, again, Gears as a franchise, that's a top 5. So I'm not going to talk about Gears of War 2. Mass Effect, top 5. I'm not going to talk about Mass Effect. Red Dead Redemption, really great game. I'm not a Western kind of gamer, so or just an era. So this game missed for me, but I understand why people love it. I would put it in top 20 for game mechanics, but I would not personally play it. Again, Ninja Gaiden, wasn't really into it. Fable 2, I don't know. Yes, it was a sequel to Fable, and it was very similar, and there was a lot of quality of life improvements from it. I don't know that I would consider this a better game than Fable 1. So yes, technically it is a better game because it played better, the mechanics were better, it was more thought out. If I were you though, I would play the anniversary edition of Fable so you get the concept of the game and then go on to Fable 2. And you'll probably say, yeah, I liked Fable 2 better. But I think they're pretty close together. And then Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, I just remember it being really difficult for me when I was playing it, but it was a lot of fun. Now I can't go back to it. I mean, we talked recently about the remaster, and I can't go back to the remaster. It's just it feels so clunky that they fixed a lot of things in Skyrim and made it feel much smoother. And now just going back to it, I can't. So, but in my opinion, I think Skyrim needs to be higher than Oblivion.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one for sure.
And then Modern Warfare, great game. Loved the campaign. Hated the multiplayer.
Yeah.
And then don't hurt me, but I never played KOTOR.
I never either. I never have either. So there we are on that one. So let's see. Mass Effect, obviously, we're more than likely going to see this in the list again, so we can save the bulk of that conversation for later. Gears of War 2. Don't know that I played the campaign, but I would play multiplayer matches with friends. And again, it's Gears of War, so it's a lot of the same thing. Super fun, weapons are cool, all that stuff. Rinse and repeat. Red Dead Redemption, never played at all, but I've seen lots of great things about it. And I mean, it's Rockstar, or not Rockstar, but Double 11 Studios. But I want to say, didn't Rockstar have something to do with this? Either way, Red Dead Redemption was a really, really cool game from what I've seen on the outside. Never played any of it. It looks pretty cool, though. Ninja Gaiden Black is way too hard of a game to play, to enjoy. Its gameplay was like, didn't seem very appealing to me. Never played the Fable series. Chaos Theory was a fun game to play, again, but it was more of the same thing as with the original Splinter Cell, with the obvious improvements. And Elder Scrolls 4, the only time I played Oblivion was the remaster of that, and could not do it. I just couldn't do it at all. So in that sense, I agree with you that Skyrim should swap places with Oblivion on this particular list. Spoiler alert. The Modern Warfare trilogy was probably my favorite part of the Call of Duty series. Modern Warfare was super fun. And then it only got better from there. I really enjoyed the campaign. Again, I never played Call of Duty for the multiplayer. I think there was stints where I would in college, and only because a group of my friends were, and we would like compete for prestige and all that stuff and all that. But other than that, that was about it. I never played KOTOR, even though you hear a lot of things, and it's very beloved amongst gamers from that time period. So as far as rankings are concerned, outside of the Oblivion and Skyrim switcheroo, would you leave everything else as it is for these next 10?
Yeah, I mean, aside from condensing all of Halo and all of,
The series.
Fable,
Yeah.
yeah, if I was condensing the series, then they would be much higher and the list would look completely different.
Sure. Okay, so let's hit up the next 5. We'll start with number 9 with Halo Combat Evolved, Forza Horizon 5 Inside, BioShock, and Halo 2. Thoughts?
If we are truly talking about genre, like I say genre, the franchise Xbox, this defines Xbox. Halo. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is Halo. So any Halo games that are not number one on the list, I disagree with. All Halo games, just lump them all together, put them at number one. Do I love each individual game? Absolutely. Have I played Combat Evolved on every system possible? Absolutely. Inside, don't even know what that is. Looks like a spooky game. Not gonna play it.
Yeah.
BioShock scared the poop out of me. Loved playing it, but I was just like, this game looks cool. I'm gonna put it on in my friend's apartment by myself in the dark, and that was a terrible decision. But do I love this series? Absolutely. Do I think it should be number 6? Absolutely. I don't disagree with that at all. And then again, Halo 2. Fantastic game. Of course, it's a fantastic game. It's a Halo game. Duh. So condense it all down to the top game that you would define Xbox as, and I would agree with it.
Yeah, I think I'm an agreement of a lot of what you're saying. Halo, I mean, it's just a great series. I haven't played everything Halo adjacent. Like, I haven't played all of the Halo entries, but I've played the first one, I've played 2, and they're both phenomenal games, of course. Forza Horizon, as an outsider looking in, only heard wonderful things about Forza and how just realistic it is. So similar to Flight Simulator without, being as super in-depth, but it is a pretty realistic game, driving simulator. So Inside is one of those narrative-driven spooky games, and I'm hard-pressed to play a narrative-driven game like that outside of Journey. It has to have a really strong hook for me to be able to invest my kind of time into something like that. BioShock was a spooky game, but it's one of the rare spooky games that I really, really enjoy because it was so fun. The different mechanics to do with that game, the big daddies, the story, the uncovering of the mystery as you went further along was just super, super fun. And I'm happy to see it on this list. And then we have Halo 2. I mean, I think for a lot of Halo fans of the original trilogy, I think it's probably 2, 3, and then 1, I think is what a lot of what the consensus is if you were to ask them what that is. But I think Halo 2 is probably fan favorite of the trilogy. Um, but yeah, and as far as my thoughts on the ranking of what we have in these, the penultimate 5, as it were, I think that makes sense. Obviously, Forza Horizon makes a lot of sense because of just what it is and what it did for Xbox and all that stuff, and just how strong of a series that is by itself. And then Bioshock and then Halo. I mean, it just makes sense to me too. What about you?
Hmm.
All right, so Final Four. Ready for it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so Final Four. We have number 4, Gears of War 3.
Hmm.
Coming in at number 3, we have GTA 5. Number 2, Mass Effect 2. And then sitting at the top of this list, Halo 3. Discuss.
Okay, first off, I'm gonna be the needle in the haystack. I hate the Grand Theft Auto stuff. So, like, honestly, at this point, like it being number 3, I disagree. I think Gears as a franchise should be higher than Grand Theft Auto. So I would probably put Gears in the number. I think it would be a close tie between second and third place.
Mm-hmm.
Does Grand Theft Auto need to be fourth place by sales? Probably. Um, just because it's still selling, a lot of copies to this day, or at least being downloaded. So
Well, it's
yeah, it's
Skyrim
probably
2.0. Let's just be
yeah.
honest.
So I mean, honestly, like, is it influential? Probably. Do I care for it? No. But Gears of War, man, especially the first games. Um, I always had the way we would do the Gears games is I had a buddy of mine in college, and a Gears game would come out. We would go to the midnight release and go get it from GameStop. We would go to my house and we would get, Doritos. We would get a 12 pack of Game Fuel, or get a 12 pack of, Code Red, and we would play it for 12 hours straight, and we would just mainline the campaign and just beat the crap out of the campaign, and we were not done until we finished that campaign. I mean, it would be 5 o'clock in the morning going, oh my God, another mission. But then we'd play it, and then 6:30, 7 o'clock, we'd be like, oh my God, we did it. We finished it. Oh, that was such a great game. Now I'm going to bed. And then never touch the game again. But
Yeah.
that was how we did Gears. We would couch co-op it and just beat the snot out of the game for 12 hours, 13 hours, and then move on. Phenomenal story, phenomenal gameplay, loved it. Everything about it screams Xbox. Even the clothes they're wearing remind me of the original Xbox, really boxy, and that shoulder strap looking like an X, so classic Xbox. Mass Effect. Again, I'm going to condense this down to a series. The Mass Effect series is just a true genius of storytelling. Like the way it flows, the fact that you can take your decisions and they apply to the next sequel. If you didn't romance this person, or if you killed this person, or if you chose this companion over a different companion, the fact that that had an effect on the second game, um, majorly influential. And then the fact that, like, the clunkiness of the first one got fixed in the second one, and the same thing got fixed in the third one, you know, where decisions truly mattered. Mass Effect won everything. And then, as we've talked about, there's no Xbox without Halo. Halo is Xbox.
Uh-huh.
So, and Halo 3 was absolutely defining. So, what you said earlier about it being, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 1, no, I mean, I agree with this. It's 3, 2, 1.
Mm.
Halo 3 was just so substantially better graphically, gameplay wise, mechanically. I mean, this summarized Halo. And maybe it was the overhype at the time. Maybe it was the fact that I loved Game Fuel and I had a Halo 3 can of Game Fuel in my house for 20 years until it exploded. Um, all those things it's just Halo is Xbox, and without Xbox, I mean, without Halo, there's no such thing as Xbox. So, um, I think these are correct. So,
Cool. Oh man. So I think I'm in the same boat when it comes to GTA 5. Nope, sneeze coming. Jeez. I enjoyed GTA 5. I played it and really enjoyed all of it. Whether it fits in the top 5 of this particular list, I don't think so. Graphically super impressive. I mean, 3 protagonists that you can switch between and all the litany of things you can speak positively about. I just don't think it fits in the top 5 here, because I think there's other games that are, more impactful. Now, if like you said, if we're talking about sales, then yes, then it enters the conversation, but I don't think that's really what we're talking about when we're reviewing this list. It's about how impactful the game is on its own. Um, Strong game, but I don't think it's top 5 worthy.
Mhm.
Gears 3 was super fun. Um, and it's strange that we have 2 third entries in the top 5 list here, or the top 4 rather, the final 4. Gears 3 I think is the one that I played the most, because it was the most popular of the trilogy, right?
Mhm.
Um, Super cool. Like it says in the article here, it's just dude bro energy, right? Playing as dudes with 0 neck and oversized armor and ridiculously brutal weapons. I mean, come on. Mass Effect 2. Oof. Love that game so much. And I have thoughts about the Mass Effect series in and of itself, but I'll circle back to that. And then Halo 3. I mean, again, that's the one I played the most because that was the most popular out of my
Mhm.
friend group here. And so we did all of our multiplayer gaming on that one. And then we played the campaign God knows how many times, and then just I have the final getaway portion of that, the finale. Da-da-da-dun, da-da-da-dun, you're trying to, like, drive this impossible freaking warthog over an exploding ship, and you can't control it worth nothing, and your Covenant bro dude on the back cannot shoot worth anything, and so you're, like, trying not to tip this thing over and restart and all that stuff all the time, so but
Mhm.
it was so fun, so fun. And then, but yeah, so, you're right. Halo doesn't exist without Xbox, but Xbox doesn't exist without Halo either. They're forever linked, and, that's really, really important. But yeah, Mass Effect, such an incredible RPG, and, just how the choices mattered, like you said, and, like, who you took on the final mission,
Mhm.
the point of no return, like, that made a difference in how that finale played out and how was your relationships with each of these people. That affects everything. And so it's just so much fun, and, I'm very fond of that trilogy. I do believe I agree with this ranking with the exception, with the asterisk by GTA 5. Gears 3 should be higher for sure. Um, so yeah, that's our top 100. So after looking, thinking about what we just covered, do you think there were any criminal like exclusions from this list? Or would you reorder anything based off what we know now that we know everything?
Yeah, I don't think any criminal outstandards. I wish they would have condensed things down a little bit and left a little bit more room for other things to enter the discussion.
Yeah, like
Same
this.
thing, like the rare replay, how they had all those rare games condensed into one playable game, or a showcase of games. Like, do I disagree that they needed to, divvy them out? Do I think Banjo Kazooie was not as good of a game as Nuts and Bolts? So,
Right.
um, so maybe not huge argumentative standpoints, but I wish they would have condensed things down to just say Rare Replay had all these
Hmm.
phenomenal games, and we think it stands at number 40 in the list. Um,
Condense
you
all
know,
of Gears,
yeah,
condense all of Halo. Yeah,
right. Um, so,
yeah. I agree with that. I think that would have made it a little more interesting. I think it's a little criminal that Mass Effect 3 is not on this list at all.
yeah.
I really think Mass Effect 3 was a victim of a lot of unearned hate simply because of the the ending.
Mhm.
which that rubbed people like the wrong way. But I really didn't see an issue with it. Like you were given three options, and you pick what you do, and that stays true to what the series has established. That all of your choices mattered. But Mass Effect 2 was really fun. But I think Mass Effect 3 was better. I think it was just phenomenal. I think that was my favorite of the trilogy. But to not see it on this list is a little disheartening, especially when you have 1 versus 100 as the gatekeeper of the 100 there. So it's a little strange. I definitely agree with especially the top rankings, your top 5, your top 10, top 20. I
Mm-hmm.
really think that makes a whole lot of sense. And so there it is. Now, how this list changes in the next, 10 years, 5 years. When was this curated? This was beginning of this year. So when we look back on this
Yep.
in 2030 or in 2035, Halo 15, is that going to be our new number one, or Mass Effect 8 or whatever?
Yeah. No.
So, but no, I think these are a lot of solid games on here, and some
Yep.
games that
I agree.
forgot about that I may want to go back and try. I mean, you talk highly about Jade Empire, so
Yeah, it's a great game. I don't know that you'd want to go back and play it, but maybe you should. Maybe you should. You have respect for some older games, and so
yeah. So community, of course, this isn't just our opinions. I mean, we gave commentary on it, but did you see any of your favorite games on this list, and did you agree with where it stood? Do you have any exclusions that should have made it on the list? Do you think some games are on this list that have no business? Would you shake up the top 4 at all, or the top 10 rather? What are your thoughts on this? And make sure you drop them down in the comments wherever you listen to your podcasts, on YouTube or on our socials. We'll throw up a discussion board there. And yeah, so I think that's great. And that's the Xbox Top 100 as provided by IGN and Outside Xbox. So there you have it.
yep. Well, I think upcoming we've talked about getting more into the D&D scene.
Mm,
So look forward to that. We've got a lot of ideas. Obviously bringing back Ellen to help DM and lead those discussions. But I think definitely pushing into the D&D realm. We've gotten a lot of positive comments about that and a lot of positive feedback from that. So I think we're definitely going to go in that direction more. Still bringing you game news, but maybe the way it looks is a little differently. And then we're trying to get set up for streaming. So possibly as early as this summer in June, we'll do some live
yeah.
streams and start going that direction. So look forward to new content coming out.
Yeah, it's fun times coming ahead, and lots of experimentation and things. So we hope you stick around. I don't even know what that means. Stick
Right
around for the
along.
ride, and continue to provide us feedback. We want to listen to our community, because we do this not just for us, but we do it for y'all. We want to provide meaningful content for you. So please, 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 please keep those suggestions coming in. And I think you're right. The D&D content was pretty popular. I know of people that were like, you guys are band directors and none of you were a bard. And I was like, don't worry about it. Just don't think about it too much. It's fine.
Technically, we were all bards.
Tackle that one upstairs,
Yeah.
huh?
All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. So, thanks for hanging out with us on today's episode of Gaming Daddies. Don't forget, you can catch the audio version of the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want the full video version, head over to youtube.com/Gaming Daddies and join the fun where you can see Chris's little spongy ducky. If you'd like to support the show and help us take it to the next level, consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/Gaming Daddies. Huge shout out to our amazing supporter, Sean Donahue. I know that Sean would appreciate not being the only one named every single episode, and we would appreciate the support. So you keep us going, and we couldn't do it without you. So until next time, this has been Gaming Daddies, and we'll see you in the game.
Peace out.